The flood of the Savannah is an African story. A long time ago, animals lived peacefully in the vast savanna of Africa. The land alternated between dry and rainy seasons, and every year during the rainy season, rivers would flood and the grasslands would be covered with lush greenery. But this year's rainy season was different. The rain from the sky continued non-stop, the rivers overflowed, and the entire savanna was flooded. At the center of that flood was the brave elephant Esima. Esima was one of the largest elephants in the savanna and had a good understanding of the changes in nature from his long experience. He called on the animals to gather in places where the floods come every year to teach them how to keep themselves safe. However, this year, the floods exceeded expectations, and one after another, rivers overflowed, and the steppes and trees began to be submerged. The animals were scared and desperately trying to take refuge in higher ground, but the ground was quickly covered with water, and there were few places to escape. Lions, zebras, giraffes and even small animals were in a panic. Seeing the situation, Esima calmly gathered the animals and said, "This flood is just part of nature. However, if this continues, everyone is in danger. Now is the time for us to work together." He immediately instructed the animals around him to head for a large rocky mountain high up in the savanna. Along the way, Esima met a variety of animals. When the little zebra child was cowering in fear, Esima gently placed him on his back and said with his big paws, "We went step by step." Then, as the giraffes were dipping their feet in the water and wondering where to go, Esima shouted, "Go to the top of the tall tree." I instructed. In obedience to the voice, the giraffes huddled on the branches before the water level rose. On the way, hippos and buffaloes were also going with them, but Esima said to them, "Don't be afraid. With our friends, we can overcome any crisis. Let's work together." Finally, the animals reached the rocky mountain, where they found it safe beyond the flood line. After some time, when the flood subsided and calm returned to the savanna, the animals expressed their gratitude to Esima. Esima just smiled and said, "We're all friends. When nature challenges us, we become stronger when we work together." After that, the savanna returned to greenery, and the animals were able to safely start a new life. They never forgot Eshima's teachings, and learned the importance of helping each other and spending time together in the face of difficulties. And all the animals living in the savanna were transmitted to Eshima's wisdom, and the peaceful days continued. End.